victory. The only option.
No, it was not the only option, Miyabi. We EX'd. We EX'd and used up the guard stacks and got blue balls. All right, let's take a look. Our first VOD review for today. We got Mads and a Piper Vivian team. 20 cost 20k, 2 cost Vesper clear. That means all of the other characters have budget vengeance. 20k clear, pretty respectable. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the characters here. Fang Metal is fine. Roaring is fine. Blazing Sweep, cool. Obviously, that's more, you know, towards Vivian related, but that's fine. It's neither here nor there. I understand from the perspective of, again, the majority of Piper's damage comes from the Assault, but 11 out of 16 is kind of egregious. That's a natural 7 out of 12, and you should be pushing towards like 8s and 10s. I'm broke. Let me be. Well, you wanted an account. You wanted a VOD review. Okay, that's part of the. That's a part of the review. Literally, you're leaving percentages of damage off the table. 150 is not bad. 350 on a 2.5, actually pretty decent. The attack is a little bit low for my liking, but it's fine. 2.7 on a 3.6 is respectable unless it's attack. Please say it's either. Please say it's either. If it's either, that's kind of god tier. Okay, I didn't see if it was either, but well, that's unfortunate. Let's just pray it's either. Oh, also, talking about Vivian. Did we start with Vivian? We didn't start with Vivian. Yes, we always talk about preparation, folks. We always talk about preparation. What do I always say? The faster we can get to critical mass, faster we can get our units up and running, the faster we deal more damage. Okay, classic. So, in particular with this, we want to start with Vivian first, so we can get out the guard stacks. Right now, we're just not doing anything. So let's start pushing the guard stacks, right? Let's start with Vivian, first basic attacks, push to a third, boom, get the guard stacks out, get going Piper a little bit, use EX with Jshoea when she parries. We're looking fine here though. I'm not too mad about this. And then we do a great job on control skill 1. Good dodge. Assist, 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 and boom. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. There we go. Great Piper usage there. Good Piper. Good Piper. Again, the ways we can shorthand the charge to level 3 with those basics is good. You're doing good so far. So good Piper usage overall. Very efficient. Good. Okay, not too shabby. Now we start using the ultimate so we can get back our stacks. We're already pushing towards stun. This is fine. I'm not mad about you continuing to drive with Piper. I'm not necessarily mad about that, but I would have loved for you to shoulder Jshoea special to immediately pop a chain. One of Jshoea's greatest strengths is her tempo control. The way you can go with her EX special and shoulder to shoulder multiple characters, or in this instance, you're ready to go into the stun. Let Piper land here. If Piper is going, right? I didn't have enough energy. No. The thing is, it's good that she doesn't have energy, right? It's good that she doesn't have energy because she can shorthand the special. Boom, pop, chain, right? You're spinning here. All this time wasted. Oh, I'm getting a hit. Oh, I'm landing the axe, right? Pop, Jshoea, go into Vivian here. Immediately go into Vivian. Refresh guard stacks, Piper again. Yes. We're talking about tempo control. We're talking about utilizing the special to push into chain. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is sort of like an intermediate level strat. Again, this is understanding the usages of not only your main skills, but even your off skills. Jshoea's regular special is so underutilized because people are like, well, the EX special is what activates everything. What's the special going to do? That's what it's able to do, right? You spin Piper. Once you stop and let go of that EX, Yuzuha switch, Vivian go, let Piper go down, Piper again, right? All that shoulder to shoulder will allow them to get their procs off, yet build up the same amount of anomaly. That's what you got to do. That's what gets you from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Okay. Of course, you got to make sure that the characters are on field, especially with Piper, so that she can activate and finalize the assault. That's something very, very important. But you know, again, you weren't even close to building it up there. So ideally, let her spin, go finish, other characters flow into that chain there, because you're wasting precious rainbow days here that'll allow you to get the full extent of your stun window. Okay. We're looking good here. That's fine.
What an eyesore.
Okay. And there goes Vivian. Looking good. Now he's ult. I'm not too happy about that, but that's fine. Because again, the ult is very, very costly. The ult is incredibly costly. So what a lot of people tend to do, funnily enough, is actually use Piper's ultimate to initiate stun. Does that make sense? So they'll probably use Vivian EX, Yuzuha EX, swap, don't get the quick assist, swap, just allow them to shoulder, right? And then pop the Piper. You didn't necessarily have the Piper ultimate if I remember correctly at that point in time. Did you? You did have it. Okay, so that also is another option as well. Because that could get your first assault, you chain Yuzuha, go Piper again, Yuzuha to quickly quick assist into your Piper and then go from there. I just don't have enough anomaly on Piper for the ult to do a full bar of anomaly. Yeah.
Out of my sight.
And I think also and that's in regards to you pushing Ether with Yuzuha versus you pushing physical, right? Because if you had an Alice, if you had a Jane Doe, that there's a, you know, we're talking a different tune here, right? Piper is the weakest in terms of anomaly pressure out of those three, for good reason. She's the A rank, she's the budget option. But you're doing really good so far. I'm not too mad about this rotation, but we could definitely get in one more salt in that stun window, and that obviously increases your damage closer to the 9k here. I'm fine with this so far, right? Doing good here. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And folks, this is really good. I tried to ult there with Yuzuha. It's fine. This is good, right? Heads up play, back swap to Vivian. This is a good play that I'm trying to you know, positively reinforce here, because Vivian is probably one of the most impactful characters amongst these three to defensive assist with. Why? Because of feathers. You get feathers when you defensive assist. You get, you know, a feather when you dodge. You get feathers for playing properly. And this will allow you to continuously push out your blooms, so you get rewarded. So make sure if you guys are playing with Vivian, and especially in this stage, Vivian should be the character that defensive assists the most. Okay? So good choice there. Just wanted to, you know, highlight that for everybody. Looking good here. Okay. Nice. Yeah. So here already, you're kind of fucked up. Not to say that like the run's fucked up, but look at all these resources. Ult, full stack. Ult, full stack of EX. 2 stacks of EX. Right? We should have been just chucking shit out. We should have just been chucking it, because we're going to get back those resources anyways, right? And now here, we're just stuck with the ultimate, which we can't even use during the stun window. I'm attacker pilled. Yeah, because attackers usually save their ultimates for the stun window. I get it. But for anomaly, you just got to start chucking it. You got to start chucking it, because that's in preparation for the stun window for you to actually use them to anomaly with. Right? So a little bit different of a tempo here, right? In terms of, you know, your resource management. So keep that in mind. And as I mentioned before, right, with Piper in particular, I've only seen you use her ult once, which granted her ultimate's not that strong, but like use it to allow your other characters to shoulder and then finalize the start of the chain with Piper. Why not? Right? That saves you time. Great use of resources. And again, if you had the ultimate a little bit more skilled up, then it would have been more damage too, right? So, anyways. And now, right, all that time's lost. Right, all that time just got chunked away. A little rough. And without any anomaly that happened in that state, it's a little tough timing, right? So making sure that we use our resources to set up for the fight versus using the resources in the fight is what this particular comp would benefit from, right? But not a bad run. And look at the score. 18K is really, really good so far. And at 30 seconds, I'm surprised we don't get higher than 20K. I'm a little bit surprised, especially with like, you know, blooms and your assaults. Okay, that's fine. We kind of get cucked there because they go into the wave attack. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, time waster. I get it. That's unfortunate. Okay, you get one assault there off. Thank God you switched to Piper at the last second, right? Because you did not finish the assault there. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? And that's more tempo related. In fact, funny enough, this stun window, excuse me, the stun window here, this second stun window here could have been popped way faster if we got a few assists here. So we actually should have ended up at this window instead of at 33. We should have ended up at like 40 something. And that would have given us a little bit more time to chunk in the damage and then not get caught at the end here with the defensive assist rotation or the attack pattern. Does that make sense? So all those choices of not defensive assisting all the way back here at the first minute and a half kind of left us in a weird, awkward position of the rotation after stun 2. Kind of, yeah. It's not bad, but this should have happened, you know, this defensive assist rotation, this 5, the 2 slow, 3 fast should have happened 10 seconds ago or with 20 seconds to spare, excuse me, right? And then past that, we could have used it to potentially go for like a third chain, but obviously that's very idealistic because we're not running an impact set on any of our characters. So obviously I wouldn't suggest that unless we're doing the weird cheeky Suna build. Yeah. The few major things that I want to highlight with this particular run, even though it was a great run, I think overall, you know, the assaults are the bread and butter, and we just did not get the assaults off. We needed to drive more stuff, and then we also needed to pay attention to Vivian's resources because we were just hanging on to Vivian's ultimate for too long. Use it. Just chalk it out there, because if you're not using it, you're wasting it, right? And Vivian doesn't get anything more from her ultimate than she does with her EX. It's just the amount of stacks that you get. So the majority of her damage comes from the blooms. Just chuck it out. Chuck out the resources, right? Maintain the anomaly pressure. Not a bad run though, not a bad run, and we get the job done. But hopefully that VOD review was very, very helpful and insightful for you guys, especially at the budget level for anomaly units, or who are using budget anomaly units. For you guys to kind of get a sense of like, oh, this is quite achievable. If I have these particular units, if I'm driving with Piper, it doesn't have to be Jane, it doesn't have to be Alice. You can still do a very, very good job across the board just by understanding and maintaining very, very high anomaly pressure. Zach, let's check out this Miyabi Vivian run with the Rampant Brute on Sjhoea defense. Okay, so Sjhoea defense run. I love the little icon here. It's very cute. Why didn't we have our 6 stack there? I'm curious. I wasn't counting. Arguable, you start with Vivian, frame 1, get guard stack, a bloom off of that with the EX because Miyabi would proc one of the blooms, and then you get the 6 stack, go from there, right? Then you Miyabi charge, use awe. But I mean, that's only like a couple of milliseconds worth of difference, so I'm not too mad about it. It's just about, you know, different approach. Good freeze there. Okay. Not too bad, not too shabby. Yeah, now we get into the brute, right? Okay, here we go. This is fine. This is fine. and good, right? You take a look at this run, and because Shoe defense is a little bit more urgent, I get it. But like, see how with Vivian, we're just chucking shit, right? Ultimate's ready, chuck that. Once I use up my guard stacks, I'm pushing it. This is the type of tempo that you need to be at, regardless of whether it's Miyabi or you know, whatever anomaly frontrunner you are. We have a full stick of butter here, and we have 1 EX. We're getting our EX for Jshoea. And we are a full stack of the Brute Miasma. We want to try to erase that immediately.
Victory. Victory. The only option.
No, it was not the only option, Miyabi. Because we EX'd and used up the guard stacks and got blue balls. You should have just ulted there first and then EX'd after. Does that make sense? Because that would have been 3-1 anyways. Then we could charge off of that, then use the EX, then use Vivian back to Miyabi EX, because we would have 2 EXs from that point. So it's like essentially doing a Miyabi stun rotation without being in stun. Hopefully that makes sense. And because again, it's about urgency. You gotta start pushing it in that first minute. That's the type of timing you should be on. Yeah, I rewatched this part. Yeah. So, you know, a little bit mismanagement of the resources. I'm not mad about it, but again, every second counts. Every resource counts.
Out of my sight.
Right? That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this.
Don't be nervous.
Boom, good. Ooh, interesting. I like that. Okay. I like that. Again, shoulder to shoulder. Use Jshoea to quickly pop the chain. Very good usage. Okay, we're fine here. Okay. I was just afraid that we didn't have the guard stacks.
No one interrupts Lord Phaethon's vacation.
Little rough. Yeah, we just didn't have enough damage. That's it. Yeah, there he goes. Not bad. Really not bad. Really not bad at all. Yeah, I think there were moments that kind of stalled there towards the end because we just ran out of resources, right? And that could have been ameliorated just by saving some of our stuff and being a little bit more economical in those points, right? Because 2-3 stacks and then 1 or 2 stacks that you wasted using that EX there could have gave you enough juice with 1 more extra EX with an Ablume and whatnot, with another disorder, to be able to get another 6 charge. That would have finished off the fight, like, you know, a couple seconds faster. There is the account VOD reviews. If you guys would like VOD reviews for yourselves, make sure to subscribe over on Twitch. You guys know where to hit us up. Yeah, record your runs and send them in the Discord into the VOD review channel. Okay, shoe defense, do your runs. We got you guys. All right, hell yeah.